to laurentlanglais.com, to my blog on Chinese astrology and feng shui. So this video is going to be about the word prediction for the yin water snake month. That's going to start on the 5th of May 2016 and last for a month, shocker here. So as a reminder, Chinese months start a few days later than the Western months. It's a different type of energy. And the systems that we use here, well, that I use because I'm on my own. So the systems that I use here is the system of the 4 pillars of destiny, also called Bazi. Bazi is a form of Chinese astrology used to code the time in the traditional Chinese calendar, which I must have around. Here is one of those traditional Chinese calendar in which the time is coded for each year, a month under the form of stem on branches. That's what we use in the 4 pillars of destiny, okay? That's the form of Chinese astrology that we're using. So this year, for example, is 2018 here. That's the year 2018 that you read here. Alright, so that's what we're using, and that's the method of analysis that I'm using to do this word prediction. So for those of you who follow this blog on those videos, you might notice two things. First, it's not my usual environment. I am at a friend's house in London today when I'm recording this video. Hence, the decoration around me that might not be entirely feng shui, but it's because I'm not at home. Second thing, my hair is not exactly improving, my hairstyle. It's now a wide crossing between the late hairstyle of Donald Trump and the early hairstyle of Justin Bieber. So you can send me your suggestion on what I should do with my hair, because it's really not getting any better. So let's move on to the prediction for the yin water snake month. So if you have read my previous article on laurentlanglais.com, or if you have followed this video, you have seen that my prediction have come true for the yin water dragon month. That was more or less April 2016 in the Western calendar. So we had an overflow of water element. The earth was becoming very damp, and hence we had problems such as earthquake, we had scandal, different development in terms of transport. We had also, especially for maritime transport, we have big contract and so on. So I've posted an article on my blog lately to summarize everything that happened during the dragon months in regard to my prediction. You can have a look at this article now or later on and see how it correlates. Okay, so here we're not going to get into the technical part of the 4 pillars of the Bazi for this month. This is in the article that goes with this video. So the article, I put the address below, and I invite you to read it if you want to get into the more technical aspect and to have the whole list of prediction. But here what we have again a very watery month. We have the yin water snake this time. So yin water, which is not as strong usually as the yang water, it's a bit more still, a bit more benevolent, we could say. Nevertheless, the yin water this month is agitated by the fire contained in the snake, okay? So it's a yin water snake. And you might know that actually the water snake, the sea snake for example, are some of the most lethal. So it's not because it's a yin month that we should think everything is gonna go very smoothly and quietly. This is not the case. So this month we have something a bit complex because it combined with the year, the monkey and the snake combined together, and some of the fire agitates the water, but some of the fire is gone, is clashed away by the year, but the year itself has also fire on top. So it's all a bit technical. I invite you again, if you want to understand this, to read my article, but let's just say that we have a combination with the year. We have the fire agitating the water, we have some metal strengthening the water, and we also have water on metal, water on fire clash, okay? So those are the main dynamic of the month. So here are my prediction. We're gonna start with the challenge of the month, where some of you think that I focus a bit too much on challenge. So I've tried this month to have as many challenge as good aspect for this month, because it's always yin and yang in the word anyway. So in terms of natural disaster, it's less earthquakes this month. It's more about volcanoes, okay? Volcano erupting, to me, it's pretty much a given, especially if those volcanoes are on an island, close to the sea, underwater, or covered with snow. Those are the image that this month brings, okay? So we can expect more than one volcano to erupt after the series of earthquakes of last month that were very significant, okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing, with the fire on water, we have a movement up and down, and we have hot and cold air. So hurricanes are very likely. Hurricane and some flood as well. We had some flood last month for a different reason, but it's again a very strong month in terms of water element. We will have some flood as well. So those are in terms of natural disaster. In terms of other challenges, problem for some plane technical problem or plane crashing, it's not impossible. Same with boats. Both will be concerned and affected by this fire and water clash. Okay, so those are all the things we might witness this month. Other interesting things, we will have scandal touching on big people or big corporation. Okay, we will have facts that are revealed. It could be a continuation of the Panama Papers, certainly, or something like WikiLeaks, something along those lines, but we will have also individual scandal, for example, for political candidate in the US or things like that. It's very possible. We will also have, I think, a large corporation or government agencies that might be hacked, okay, attacked, a cyber attack. That means that one of these big system corporation or political government agencies, might be hacked this month. We will also see most likely bugs for some high-tech brands that they will have to correct, okay? So it's a month quite political. Diplomacy will be in a weird situation. Some gain, we'll speak about it soon, but some loss as well on treaty around peace and truce and so on will be signed. That's a good thing, but the other aspect is that in some other area, diplomacy will fail quite miserably because of this clash this month. Okay, so some of the aspects here. I'm gonna refer quickly to my article, because at my age I don't remember everything. Yes, we will have also heated debate on genders, for example, again on women's rights and things like that, especially in regard to religion. We could have, on the good aspect, advance for example, priesthood for women, but we will have again gender theories debate, dubious law like the anti-LGBT and transgender law passed in Virginia or North Carolina and those states, in the past few months. Those things might be very heated again. But also in regard to how religion treats women, that's pretty much a given. And finally, yes, a big prediction is also local epidemics, especially in terms of farming, agriculture, affecting animals, possibly transported by water, okay? So avian flu, for example, pig flu, swine flu, or things like that could happen again. Okay, now we move to the good part, okay? So don't despair, because there are good in this world, good things happening, and here are some of them this month. My prediction in terms of good part, so it's gonna be a bit of a crazy month in terms of science, advanced discovery, and medical discovery. It's gonna be extremely interesting. So in terms of science, I think we will have things around supraconductor. I think we will have things around technology, advanced technology for computer, like semi-soft screen, plasma screen, liquid crystal, all those kind of things. A new way of storing the information, for example, data and things like that. Space exploration will be a big topic this month, in my opinion. On the negative aspect, we might have some satellite and meteorites that crash on Earth this month. But on the positive aspect, we will have advance in space exploration, possible talk about Mars colonization, on also based underwater, not just on Mars, not just in the space. But Mars will be most likely very much talked about during this month, possibly as well because we discover bacterial life finally on either Mars in the frozen water or meteorite or somewhere in space. That's not impossible to have such a big announcement this year. That was an announcement I was foreseeing either for this year or next year the latest, and I really think it's coming rather sooner than later, but it could be this year, this month. Okay. Also, in terms of treatment of polluted waters, that could be another aspect that we will see this month. In terms of medicine breakthrough, we will have things around blood pressure on cardiac surgery because the up and down on the fire of water clash really relates to blood on the heart. Okay, eye surgery as well. It's not something I put in the article, but it's possible as well. But we will have a very interesting discovery about bacteria, treatment around bacteria, new bacteria, things like that. Because this combination of the snake and monkey at this level, which involve some water, some fire, some metal, it's really about researching cells, bacteria. It's also about possibly neurons, about stem cell, about genetics, fertility, infertility. All those things will be most likely talked about on discovery announcement around those things. Alzheimer treatment, for example, treatment of the nervous system or things like that could very well come to light this month. It's a tendency. On bacteria, bacteriology will have some interesting advancement. Okay. Other things that I'm foreseeing, so advancing in women's rights, we talked about around the region. Very strong month for Hollywood. Last month was not exactly lacklusting, but a bit underperforming, especially for Batman versus Superman. That doesn't even that will not reach $1 billion of at the box office, worldwide box office. It seems underperforming for such a movie that cost 400 million to make. Well, they could have spent a bit on me, on my prediction. I think that would be a better investment. Plus, the movie was well, let's move on. Alright, but this month we have Avenger, Captain America, Civil War, almost Avenger movie. Not exactly an Avenger movie, but it is an Avenger movie. And it's gonna make the number of an Avenger movie at the box office. That's what I'm predicting. The fire and water clash is very auspicious for TV and cinema records. So we're gonna see some records being shattered most likely this month by this movie, but also in terms of TV audience, it's a strong month. Okay, so a better month for Hollywood, which is one of my favorite topics. We will have good development in terms of transport industry and the solar industry, and not so good news for the oil industry. We might have actually a minor oil spill or fracking problems this month. It's quite likely. There will be, nevertheless, I was talking about diplomacy before, some achievement in diplomacy in terms of truce and ceasefire and things like that. Some will happen. One negative aspect I didn't speak about is an explosion of violence this month, like possible bombing. It is possible, like the volcano erupting. But overall, it's not one of the most violent months of the year, or even the decade. It's actually a bit quieter in that department. At least I hope so, and that's what I'm foreseeing. And for the fun part, well, possible sightseeing of sea monster, sea snake, Loch Ness monster, and things like that, all possible this month, if you are into cryptozoology. And finally, we will have also new movement of compassion, or some of those social media challenge that will take over. Okay, so those are the prediction for the yin water snake month. I invite you again to read the article to have the full list of prediction. Also see how I come up with such prediction. And now, if you want to know about what's going to happen for your chart, your 4 pillars, your Bazi, on what this year has in store for you, what the decade has in store for you, on where you're going, which choice you can make with relationship, with work, with the ideal career for you, even possibly a house move, country move, and so on. It's all in your blueprint, in your 4 pillar of destiny. So contact me now, and we can design a feng shui or batsu consultation for you, depending of your needs, or a combination of both, to answer all your questions about who you are and your future. Thanks a lot for following this blog. It's always a pleasure to make those videos. Your comments are more than welcome. If they are constructive, if you are trolling, you will be exterminated. Indeed, I am a fan of Doctor Who. Okay, so see you next month, or maybe even earlier if I manage to do more video on. Thanks for spreading the word, and I wish you a good month of the snake. Bye.